Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm Anish from FTC Team 21351 Cybotz. Today, we're going to be learning the basics of Onshape. We're going to practice doing simple sketches, extruding those sketches, and editing your parts. Previously, you guys learned about the FTC parts library and why it was important. You learned how to access Rev and Go Build Up parts in the FTP parts library. Additionally, you also learned how to import these parts into your Onshape file to use for your design. Alright, so first, to create your Onshape document, you're going to click on this blue button in the top right, called the Create button. When you click, there's a drop-down menu. You're going to click on Document. So you can name the document anything. I'm just going to name it CAD. Alright, so once you get the name, then you can click Create. Alright, so this is Onshape's interface here. So as you can see, on the bottom, we have two tabs, the Part Studio tab and the Assembly tab. So these two tabs are automatically created when creating our Onshape document. However, if you do want to add a new tab to create a Part Studio or Assembly, all you need to do is click on this plus button in the bottom leftmost corner and click Create a Part Studio. And there we go. We have a new tab where you can design our part. This also works the same for assemblies. So there we go. We can design a new assembly like that. So we're not going to be needing these two tabs in today's video. So we're just going to be using the parts video and assembly. So I'm just going to delete these two. All right. So now on the topmost we have the toolbar. This is what we're going to be using to create our design. So we have the sketch tool, which creates a 2D model of your part before you can make it 3D. We also have the extrude tool, which we're going to be talking about the most today in this video, and the revolve tool, sweep tool, and many other tools that can help you design your part. You'll find the view cube in the upper right corner of your Onshape workspace. This represents the orientation of your model. Each face corresponds to the standard view. For example, there's top, we have front, right, back, left, and bottom. So you can choose which orientation you want your part to be facing. The first step in any 3D design is sketching a 2D model for the part that you want to create. So first, we're going to be clicking on the sketch tool in the toolbar. So it's going to ask us for a plane. I'm just going to click top for now. And we want to hide these planes right here. So we can do this, click the eye icon here to hide the planes, or an easier way to do this would be to hit the key P to hide it. And to edit our sketch, we're going to be needing the plane to face us. So for example, we have the top plane facing us, so you can just click the top plane, or an easier way again would be to press the N key to make it face you. Alright, so as you can see here, we have many different tools to create our sketch. So we have the line tool, we have line and midpoint line. So we can just click on the line tool or key L, which will allow us to just create lines, allowing us to create just a shape that we want, like that. We also have the rectangle tool. So all we need to do is click on this rectangle tool. So there are 3 different types of rectangles right here. So first let's talk about the corner rectangle. All you need to do is click on this or key G. And when you click on the point, it will allow you to create a rectangle from the corner, like this. And then we have a center point rectangle here. It will allow us to create a rectangle from the center. And then we have an align rectangle tool, which will first draw a line, and wherever you want to put it, like this, you can determine the height of your rectangle. So now we have a circle point tool. You can click on that or key C. So it will allow you to create circles like this, as the name suggests. We're just going to start off by creating a simple part. So first, I'm just going to go on the square tool. Make sure I click on the origin and make sure it's a center point rectangle. So I can change the dimensions of this. So I'll make this 5 centimeters and I'll make the length 5 centimeters. There we go. Now I'm going to use the line tool to create shapes like this. So we have different types of sketch constraints. We have the coinciding constraint, which connects 2 points together. We have the concentric constraint, which makes the same orientation as a different circle. However, this only applies to circles. We also have the parallel constraint, if you want to make 2 lines parallel, like that. The tangent constraint also only applies to circles. So for example, if I want to go here and sketch a line here, I can click on the tangent constraint and I can click on this line and the circle. This will make the circle change to the line. Alright, we also have the horizontal constraint, which is pretty self-explanatory. It just makes this a line that you want horizontal. Same thing with vertical. If you want to make this line vertical, you can just make it like that. And we have the perpendicular constraint. This constraint makes 2 lines perpendicular. For example, if you want to make this line right here and this line perpendicular, we can make it like that, a right angle. And an equal constraint, if you want to make 2 lines equal to each other. This will either shorten one line or enlarge another. And then midpoint would basically, you click a point and click on the line, and the midpoint would go on there. So for example, if you want to do click on midpoint constraint, click on this point right here, and click on this line. As you can see, the point is in the middle, right here. We also have the symmetric constraint, which makes 2 entities basically symmetric. So that's it. Now that we've created a part, we're going to be learning about the extrude tool. So the extrude tool basically creates this part as a 3D model. So for example, if I want to click on these, click on sketch 1, I'll click extrude. This will extrude our part like this. We can change the height of it using the arrow, but if you want a specific height, we can change this part right here. So we can do 1.5 inches. This is how we can make our part as an extrude with the extrude button. So that's basically it for the extrude button. So now let's talk about just making simple edits on our already finished part. So let's just say we want to just create a sketch on top of this. So all we're going to do is click on the plane that we want to create the sketch on. Click the sketch tool, the N key to face us, and just create the part that you want. So we're just going to click on the circle, center point circle. Let's set the diameter to 3. Here. And there we go. So we can just extrude that. And you can either choose to add onto this extrude, or we can remove. So we can basically cut this hole right here. So we're just going to remove it like that. So now there's a hole in our part. So now if you just want to edit the size of your shape because you don't like it, all you need to do is click on either of the sketches that you want to change the size of. So I'm just going to click on sketch 1 right here. So just click N. And here, we're going to click on the dimensions tool, or the D key. This will allow us to change the dimensions of any line that we have. So for example, if I want to change this to 1 inch, I'll be able to do that. And I can just click on this line. And if you want to also change the angle, you can just click on the 2 lines that create the angle, and we can change the angle like that. So let's just say 45 degrees. So yeah, that's basically how dimensions work. Let's just briefly talk about assemblies and how to just mate parts simply. So you're going to be learning more about mate connectors and advanced Onshape assembly features in the next video, but we're just going to be briefly going over this. So here we have an assembly. I just created a different part off camera to demonstrate this. So what we're going to be doing first is we're going to be clicking this insert tool on the top right, and we're going to be importing the parts that we want. So in this case, I want these 2 parts that I designed. The one that we designed earlier, and this one that I designed off camera. So once we hit the green check mark, there, we have 2 parts imported into our assembly. So to use mate connectors and to mate 2 parts together, all we need to do is just choose any mate. Like I said before, we're going to be talking more about mates in the next video, but not in this video. So let's just choose a fasten mate for now. By the way, this fasten mate just keeps 2 pieces together. It doesn't have any movement. So you can choose anywhere you want to put on the part. So for example, I'll just put the mate connector here, like this. So now we're going to be putting the other mate connector to where we want the part to attach. For example, I'm just going to put the mate connector in the middle of this part. And you can be able to flip the axis like that and reorient the axis like this. So once I hit the green check mark, there we go. That's how we made 2 parts together. So that's it for today's video. In the next video, you guys are going to be learning about advanced Onshape features. This includes advanced tools for precision organization, using mate connectors, constraints, and configurations, and improving assemblies. Alright, see you later.